Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Brian. Behind me is my 1966 Porsche 912. Those of you who have watched my channel for any length of time, there's quite a few videos about this car on there, mainly rebuilding the engine, doing some rust repair, things like that. Today, I was going to take it for a little drive and I noticed the headlight was loose and the screw was gone, holds the headlight assembly into the car. So I was going to pull it out and replace the screw, and when I pulled it out, unfortunately, it hit the floor and broke. So I guess we'll go through the steps replacing a headlight glass in your 66 Porsche. So the screw that holds it to the body goes right there. And these are adjustment screws that adjust the ring on the back side. I've had this apart before years ago because I repainted inside there. So let me see if I can refresh my memory and figure out how this comes apart. I know on the back, these little metal clips just kind of stick inside the rim. Come on. Like that. It looks like I'm going to have to back the adjuster screws all the way out. I can order that seal also based on the condition of that. I guess I'll order that, a lens, the correct screw to attach it, and maybe a new gasket that seals the headlight to the body of the car. It's been a week or so and I got my new parts, at least some of the parts. Anyway, there's the new lens, has all the correct markings, so it matches the one I destroyed. I did not purchase a new gasket. I decided for like the $28 for a new one that this old one would probably be just fine. So it should just stretch around the rim. Before I go too much further, I'm going to need some glass cleaner. We'll get everything cleaned up. These are H4 headlights. Take an H4 bulb, have this kind of pattern that shows up on the road like that. The reason these are in here is I bought these to put in our red cabriolet, but these do not have the little protrusions on them that the old school headlight aimers go on. That was before I realized that in North Carolina they don't check any of that stuff anyway, so they'd never notice for inspections. So I put them in here because they're behind the glass, and this was like 18 years ago. So that's the reason these are kind of weird looking headlights. They're not the standard seal beam. The H4 style has the bulb you can replace. And this being oval, kind of has to be exactly in the right spot for it to drop down in that rim. Alright, that looks like that's it. And the hole at the bottom. Alright, there it goes finally. Come on. And maybe that's the trick. Use your good thumb and it'll just fold right under there. Okay. So that appears to be all back together. I did purchase a new headlight to fender seal. That was relatively inexpensive. And the correct screw, since I think I had a sheet metal screw in there. Not really sure how that thing goes in there, because the other one I had, the old one, was a foam thing that was all that was available, I guess, in the 80s or 90s, and it came apart and it kept falling out. So I'm going to try this one. It's kind of a T shape, so I'm going to assume that the T part goes up or towards the front. As long as it stays in, I don't really care. That old one kept coming out. So this fender, when I got this car, was really rusty. Both fenders were, and I was able to buy, at the time, two relatively decent used fenders. I think they came from California. Of course, they dented one of them shipping, and one of them had rust in it that was disguised with Bondo. But this had a different style of headlight mounting. I believe it had the springs that held it in, and it would not fit with this older headlight bucket. I think this may be a 68 or a 69 fender. So I had to saw them out of there. Of course, I realized that after the fact, so we just hit it with some black paint to keep it from rusting. So that screw is either missing the hole completely, or the threads are in that hole are no good. I screwed that screw in earlier, and it felt like it had threads. Yeah, so the threads pretty much stripped out of that hole. All right, so we'll have to remedy that situation. So it looks as though there's just enough threads in there to tease you. And this little tab, of course, is welded on. I guess I could drill that thing out and make something and bolt it through there or tack it. I really don't want to tack that close to the paint, but we'll give this a shot. I'm going to see if I can kind of squeeze that hole up a little bit, and we'll re-tap it. Or if I'm just going to blast all the remaining threads off there with a piece of metal. Those of you following along at home, that is a M5 by 0.8 screw. See if we can make some new threads in here. Felt like it did. Now let me find what I did with the screw. Yeah, there's some threads in there. Not a lot though. Give it a shot. Oh yeah, much better. So next we'll need to adjust the headlights. Obviously this one, I don't know if you can see, but it's turned way in, so we'll kind of get that close. I'm not sure if this will show up on our garage door, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to take it for a drive anyway. So I've just come back from a short little drive. Next we'll work on adjusting that headlight. Looks like I had a marker light out too. An H4 headlight kind of makes that sort of pattern. Actually, it looks pretty good. May need to come up a little bit. See what the high beam does. You know what? I think I'm going to leave that well enough alone. If you did need to adjust it, up top here is kind of the left-right, and then down at the bottom is your up-down. I think we'll call that good enough for now. I think I finally have this thing running right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.